Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Sports Corner Show. My name is Ralph Williams along with Smokin' Jim Frazier by phone. And today we have a very special guest today with us, and we're going to get to him in a few moments here. But first, we're going to get into, hang on a minute, let me put this up here for you. Bill Hillgrove will be joining us in a few moments. He's the voice of the Panthers, and he does all the play-by-play for both PITT football and PITT men's basketball. All right, we are sponsored today. Our studio sponsor is Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. And don't forget, please, to call Mata today. The winner's here. Get your furnace fixed. And also, don't forget they provide UV lighting and snow melt as well. You ought to call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. You ought to call Mata. And then we're also sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty in Ocean City, Maryland, area code 410-596-1681. Listen, my advice to you is to call Mike today to get a short-term rental, because if you don't, you're going to be out of luck. They're raising the prices at the hotels for 2026. They're also instituting a 1% hotel tax increase. So in order for you not to have to put up with that or go out and take out a loan, my suggestion is give Mike a call today, 410-596-1681. Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Also, some great real estate and some great houses he has for sale if you're interested in moving as well. We're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland. And as I mentioned before, our studio sponsor is Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Today, Bill Hillgrove is brought to you by Farmers Insurance in Western Pennsylvania. Call Robin Campbell. He does Farmers and Bristol West Insurance, all types of insurance. 412-366-3399, Farmers Insurance and Bristol West with Robin Campbell. All right, Smokin' Jim Frazier, welcome to the program. How are you today, Smokin' Jim?
Hey, thanks, Ralph. I'm ready for this one.
Oh, you know, we got a big show for you today, a huge show. And our show today is, we have a very special, two special guests today. Right now at 4:00 p.m. here, we have Bill Hillgrove, who's on the phone with us. And he's joining us, and we're going to have him in a few moments. And then at 4:30, Mike SISZAK. Mike is from Amped Up Sports, and what Mike does is he covers the Baltimore Ravens, Washington Commanders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Mike will be joining us as well. He is from Amped Up Sports, and that is at 4:30. So don't forget to tune in to him as well coming up. And we have a lot to talk about today, including the Steeler game. Bill's going to talk with us about the PITT Bull thing, where we were talking off the camera here in regards to some of the predictions for what bowl games PITT could possibly be in. We'll find that out coming up soon on the Bull show as well. All right, let's get started here. Bill Hillgrove, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Guys, I'm fine and looking forward to whatever bowl the Panthers end up in. I think we have to root for Miami to make the playoffs, because in the ACC, that would provide one additional bowl and the pecking order would go up. And I think, that would be good for PITT. They're saying pinstripe against Penn State. Personally, I don't want to go back to Yankee Stadium. You're in a baseball press box. Baseball people run the scoreboard. When you're in the end zone and you're low, so when they're running at you, left becomes right and right becomes left. And you got to transpose all that, and it's just uncomfortable as all get out. So I also hear the Holiday Bowl out in San Diego, so let's see how it plays out. Sunday we find out.
All right. Smokin' Jim Frazier, say hello to Bill Hillgrove.
Hey, Mr. Hillgrove. I tell you what, this question may be to the left a little bit, but and you mentioned Penn State, do you think that Terry Smith has a chance of getting that head coaching job, sir?
Yeah, that's an interesting search. I hear all these names. I heard the BYU coach. Terry's in the mix. Josh Heupel turned it down, so who knows? But it's been interesting to follow.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it has. And the curiosity kills the cat here, because we're all curious to see where Pitt's going to go in this in the bowl season as well. And I want to say, I got to give kudos to Pat Narduzzi. I sort of criticized him after last season. He's put together a pretty good season for Pitt, despite the fact they lost some games that they probably should have won. Bill, tell us a little bit about this Mason Heichel. I know he's done well for Pitt this year as a freshman quarterback. What are your thoughts on him?
He's mature beyond his years, and he's got a great awareness in the pocket, and that you can't teach that to a quarterback. He reminds me a little bit of Ben in that regard. He's not as big as Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben knew how to move in the pocket. Those guys have a talent to know where not to go when the pressure's on, and I think Mason has that gift. He's also got a fine arm, and he just has been a delightful surprise. Now, that having been said, anybody who watched preseason for this team, the camp, he was the best quarterback. And so, when it came time for him to take the reins, he was ready.
All right, Smokin' Jim, you have any more questions for Bill Hillgrove?
No, I don't.
All right. Okay, we're here today, Sports Corner Show here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. Also, we're on the Huddle Sports Network on Roku. And also, coming up soon this week, I will be wrapping up the contract process with the Sports Nuts Network, and we're going to be on with them effective immediately. Coming up soon this week, probably next week, we will be airing all of our sports programming, including Wrestle Talk, the Saturday College Football Show, and a whole lot more will be aired on the Sports Nuts Network. And I want to thank Brandon Keeler and all the folks from the Sports Nuts Network for letting us come on there and broadcast our programming. Please tune into them tonight at 7:30. They have a show. They'll be on YouTube and Facebook, and also across the country through several radio stations, including in Texas and all the other stations across the country. I believe they're on in Atlanta and some other stations. So don't forget to do that as well. All right. We're also on Facebook, and we're also on the YouTube network here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to RW Media Productions, and also my Twitter page. I want to thank those who follow me, got me to 400. Bill, let's talk a little bit more about the Pitt football team. What turned them around other than the quarterback? Did Pat Narduzzi say a couple things, or what lit their fire up to get back in order?
Well, I'm sure he had them ready to play at Georgia Tech for sure. But let's go back before that. They've been banged up defensively for a short period of time. The defensive ends were low in numbers, and then it was linebackers getting hurt. And then now that everybody's relatively healthy, they're a pretty good defensive team. Now, are they in Miami's league? No. And Lewis Riddick was riding down the elevator, and my son, who spots for me, asking, what do you think? And Lewis said, hey, Pitt is right there with the big guys when it comes to skill players, but they're lagging with the big guys up front. And the reason for that is that the wealthy NIL schools can stockpile big guys. And so, that's where Pitt is at a disadvantage. And, until that changes, that's the way it's going to be. But, that having been said, you guys both know that you win the games up front. It's all about blocking and tackling.
Yeah, and the lines of scrimmage. I say that all the time, Bill. It's about the lines of scrimmage, and if you can't control either one of them, you're done. That's your main thing. And also, don't forget about your quarterback, who's the captain of the offensive ship and has to be able to maneuver and everything. But if you don't protect them, you can't do anything. I hope sooner or later they straighten the NIL out, Bill. I've said it many times. They need to get it into a salary cap base kind of thing. And I'm hoping soon that happens, because if they don't, it's going to get too far out of control, I believe. That's my opinion on the NIL.
Yeah, and Jeff Stiller does play-by-play for the Atlanta Falcons and also does some Big East games. Uh, he hit it right on the head. He said, "Hey, even if they straighten some of it out, every state has a different tax structure, and so that you can't have a level playing field as long as that condition exists." So, they're a long way from solving it, but I hope they're starting to try to put guardrails on it. But will they succeed? That's the question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Smoking Jim, any questions for Bill Hillgrove?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. Bill, let's talk about the men's basketball team a little bit here. Jeff Capel, and what's happening this year with this team? Do you think they'll be okay going forward in the ACC?
Well, disappointments, and I think the performances against West Virginia and Quinnipiac were below the line. I think they've got to do it with hustle and intensity and effort. And in those two losses, I didn't see it. I didn't see any offensive continuity at West Virginia. And Quinnipiac, you just shouldn't lose to a mid-major team on your court. But they did bounce back on both occasions, and especially this latest performance. I'm getting ready to say, oh, they played well against Ohio State, but unfortunately, Ohio State was a better team, and then DeMarco Minor changed all that with 3.9 seconds left. And it tells you something about the great sport of college men's basketball. Things can change in a moment, in a flash.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bill, what do you see happening with this men's basketball team this year? Do you think they'll be able to get into the NCAA? Do they have the talent, or is it going to be a tough sledding for Jeff Capel and the gang?
I think they have enough talent. I think their problem is consistency. And they have a pretty good pre-conference schedule, playing, Division I power teams, including tonight, where they're a 3.5-point underdog against Texas A&M. They'll play Villanova. They'll play Penn State before the conference descends on them, which is, I think the first game is Miami at the end of December, and it's in Miami. But I think this team has a chance to be good and has a chance to make the tournament, but they have to be more consistent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe that to be the case. That loss to Quinnipiac had to be a tough loss, and I know that Jeff Capel and the gang can really get it going again. They're going to have to, because it's going to be an interesting year in the ACC and all across the NCAA in basketball this year.
I think it's anybody's last ring. I really believe that. I don't think there's a team that stands out significantly above the rest.
Yeah, it's kind of like the NFL now. The NFL used to have like 10-2 records and whatnot. This year, you don't have any of that. You got a bunch of teams all bundled up with the same record, and that just could happen too in college basketball.
Yeah, I think, and of course, it adds to the intrigue, and it promises a very good tournament. And I think that's going to be fun. But in the meantime, there's a lot of basketball left, and in the conference, you've got a lot of teams that are really good. You got a couple of teams that are but they fit somewhere in the middle and can climb toward the top if they get more consistent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Any questions, Smokin' Jim, for Bill Hillgrove?
Just one last one, Mr. Hillgrove. We appreciate your time. This has been a great year for us older guys with Sam Clancy. Just for the young people, he got a street named after him. He got his jersey number retired. He went in the Pennsylvania State Sports Hall of Fame. Give us your most fond memory about Sam Clancy's playing career for all the young people who never seen him play?
Well, I remember vividly doing the state playoff game where Fifth Avenue was involved. And I can tell you then, and I can say that until the end of his career, he was a man among boys. And that's the best way to say it. He had the ability to bang with the big guys, although he was, 6'7". He'd have been 6'10" if he had been so bow-legged. And I just, he was just a thunderous player. And hey, here's a great trivia question. Which 11-year pro football veteran has more career rebounds than Patrick Ewing?
Antonio Gates.
No, Sam Clancy.
Oh, Sam Clancy. Okay. Well, Antonio Gates played basketball too,
Yeah, he didn't. Sam didn't play in the NFL, but for like 9 years with the Browns. He had a year with the Maulers and another year with another USFL team. So he played 11 years of football. And probably, push comes to shove, he probably should have played college football. He would have been better prepared to be an every down player, but as a pass rusher, you couldn't beat him. But unfortunately, coaches don't like to loan their players to other sports, and that's only gotten worse over the past 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has. Smokin' Jimmy, have any final questions before I let Bill go?
No, man, that was an awesome story. Thanks, Mr. Hillgrove. I appreciate that.
All right. He said thank you there, Bill, if you didn't hear him.
No, I heard him, and I appreciate it, Smokin' Jim.
All right. Bill, thank you for being part of the program today. I really appreciate it. And also, I want to say happy birthday to you. I know your birthday was last week, and I put a shout out on our Sports Corner radio show and here your birthday. You were 85 years old, and God bless you. And say hello to Pat Bostic and the rest of the gang for me, okay?
I'll be happy to do that, Jim, and Smokin' Jim and Ralph. I'm sorry. And,
it's all right.
Let's do it again. Let's do it on the radio one of these days too.
Yes, we will. Let's do that. I'll get you on in the next couple of weeks. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right, Bill. Thank you. Bill Hillgrove from the PITT Radio Network. He is the voice of the PITT Panthers. Smokin' Jim, what an interview with Bill Hillgrove.
Well, you are the booking machine. I tell you that, man. The guests, the caliber of guests that you're able to get, not only on your podcast, but your radio show and everything else that you do is second to none, Ralph. And I tell you what, man, one thing, there's not a better storyteller
than Bill Hillgrove.
And I'm just so glad he was able to share that Sam Clancy story, because there's a lot of young people never heard of Sam Clancy. He was he's the only player. Yes, he's the only player in PITT history with 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. That's incredible. More rebounds than Pat Ewing, more rebounds than Charles Smith. The guy he was just a beast at only 6'6". So I'm glad Bill's been around 85 years to be able to tell those kind of stories. So we appreciate Bill. And what a sound mind he still has at 85, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I got to give him a lot of credit. And I gave him credit, too, when he was doing both the Steelers and the PITT games. I mean, he was doing PITT and the Steelers, and then it was like he'd go from one to the other. And, sometimes you wonder how people can do that. You know what I mean? So, But anyway.
Well, you give everybody credit but me. I'm getting my credit.
I always give you credit. You know that. I never leave you in the lurch, man. Never. You know that. I'm always on top of it. I'm even part of your George Pickens gang now.
my man.
No, I mean seriously, in all seriousness, even though other people think we're crazy, Smokin' Jim, but look at the Steelers now. They got egg on their face. If they would have kept George Pickens, put up with them for one more season. One more season.
Year. That's all needed. You're right.
One more season. Come on, you put up with him for what, 3-4 years? Why not put up with him for another season? Who cares if he's a cancer? At least he could perform. Look what you got now. You got Calvin Austin dropping footballs in the tub all the time. You got, you know what I mean? I mean, come on. I mean, you know, you got Roman Wilson can't catch a pass or get a break anytime. You know, you got too many guys that just, you know, and the Steelers, they blew it. They could have had a bunch of people, and they didn't. All right, let's go to the comment section here. Cyberooski's checking in. Hello, how are you, Cyberooski? Also, we have Mickey Delaney checking in. How you doing, Mickey? And Cyberooski says, Smokin' Jim, do you have a Zelly account? I'm going to send some money to get you a laptop and a camera. I like that one, man. That's from Cyberooski. He's a steady. That was good. That was good. All right. We got to pay a couple bills here, Smokin' Jim, because I had to get off the track a little bit with Bill Hillgrove being on the show. All right. Don't forget to call BigJimsBikes.com, 410-289-1203. Big Jim's Bikes and Scooters, Ocean City, Maryland, open year-round. 3 locations on the boardwalk. Big Jim will get you set up. Look, if you're handicapped like I am, I'm in a wheelchair, and when my mom and my wife and I, we all 3 of us have to go to the boardwalk. My mom and my wife, because they can't walk long distances, they get a motorized scooter, just like I have, a motorized chair, and we go around the boardwalk. Don't make your life inconvenient when you go on a vacation like you're coming to Ocean City. Call Big Jim's Bikes today, 410-289-1203, bigjimsbikes.com as well. Don't forget to reserve for next year because, you know what? You may not get one because Big Jim's, runs out of these bikes and scooters for the season. Also, coming up in about, I'd say about 10 minutes or so, about 8 minutes, we have Mike SISZAK will be joining us from Amped Up Sports to talk with us today about the Baltimore Ravens, Washington Commanders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I got to tell you, man, we had a great lineup today, Smokin' Jim. And then coming up 5 o'clock, Wrestle Talk. Don't forget about that as well. Wrestle Talk, we have, we're going to be talking about the Survivor Series. How about that? And how about some of the other stuff that went on in that Survivor Series? We're going to be talking about that as well. Lots to talk about today on the Wrestle Talk show. So don't forget to join us for that as well. So I just want to let everyone know about that. We're going to go on Facebook here real quick because I didn't get to our Facebook friends because I had Bill Hillgrove on. I wanted to get him through before we go to our Facebook page. All right, we're on Facebook right now. We have Thomas France tuning in. Thank you, Thomas, for tuning in as well. Smokin' Jim, next week, guess who our guest will be on Wrestle Talk?
Who's that, buddy?
Trapper Tom will join us next week. I spoke with him today, and he's going to join us next week. The last event is coming up for KSWA, and today I want to congratulate KSWA Wrestling, and we'll do that on the Wrestle Talk show. We're going to do it here for their 25 years in the wrestling business of putting on some great programming throughout the year, at some of the venues in Pittsburgh. And I got to give Bob Orquist, I got to send him out a congratulations. And now they're retiring. They're hanging it up, KSWA Wrestling. And today, City Council of the City of Pittsburgh has declared that it's KSWA Day today. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. And I want to thank Pittsburgh City Council for finally doing something correct and making today the KSWA Day in the City of Pittsburgh. So there you go. All right, Smokin' Jim, I've been using this saying, same shame. And I do that when I talk about the City of Pittsburgh on my Ralph Williams show. And now I'm going to put it towards the Steelers now. Same shame. Same thing. Shame on them for doing the same things over and over again, making the same mistakes, doing stupid play calling, just some dumb, ridiculous game plans. You know what? It's just ridiculous, Smokin' Jim. And I got to tell you, they're playing a Ravens team at home that has won 6 in a row. They just lost to the Bengals. But you know what? The Ravens can be beat if the Steelers put together the right game plan. Your thoughts on this week's game and your thoughts on the game prior here against Buffalo?
You know me. When it comes to football, I don't look back unless you're out of it, like the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Browns.
And the New Orleans Saints.
As bad as the Steelers are playing, the fire Tomlin, the boos, all the kind of stuff that's coming from the fans, the Steelers are still in first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's in front of them. They have to play the Ravens twice. Their best chance to make the playoffs is to win the division, and all that is out in front of them. They just got to get it turned around.
Yeah, they do. They have to. What their problem is, Smokin' Jim, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is consistency. They have no consistency other than consistency when they lose. Because what happens is they don't have any consistent winning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to have some consistency here. And the only thing that's consistent here is nobody's doing anything. That's the one consistency that I'll give the Steelers on this whole situation as well. And I also want to congratulate the Pittsburgh River Hounds. I'm working on getting somebody from the Hounds on here next week, either on this show or on the radio show. And also don't forget about the Sports Corner radio show every Saturday, 2 o'clock p.m., 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and also on the theanswerpgh.com. Also, I want to thank, and tomorrow I make my debut on, are you ready? WWDB-AM Talk Radio 860 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Every Wednesday, starting tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m., I will be on their station, as well as their YouTube channel and their Facebook page. And every fourth Wednesday of the month, we will do a live call-in. It will be live, okay? A live call-in show. We'll have, you can call in. You can ask me all kinds of questions. And I want to thank the City of Brotherly Love for welcoming me to Philadelphia tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m. Yes, indeed. I had to do it. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. I know you've been sending me nasty emails, calling me a traitor and everything else. Let me tell you something. I tried everything I could. My radio agent tried to get me on local stations in Pittsburgh. Everybody played games. Everybody let us hang out in the lurch. Nobody wanted to bother with us. So now I had to do what's best for me and my broadcasting career and my company, RW Media Productions, and that is to go to Philadelphia. So now I'll be on in Philadelphia, and I've talked to some folks down here in Ocean City. Everybody's ecstatic. Everybody's excited that I'm going to be on here in Philly, and Philly is excited. It's out there that I'm coming, and now everybody's excited. And I could never be more excited to be on in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the number 9 rated media outlet in the entire country, Smokin' Jim. There you go.
That's huge. That's huge. I'm proud of you, brother.
Yep. And I told everybody I was going to make my own hay if the hay can't be made by Pittsburgh media. That's one of the reasons I moved down here. That's one of the reasons I got out of Pittsburgh. The media treated me like a redheaded stepchild. And this is a classic example of it. Except for 1250 The Answer. I want to thank them for letting me put my shows on weekends on 1250. I have invaded weekends with my shows, including the Sports Corner radio show. We're beating in the ratings the big top dog in Pittsburgh, and we're beating the top dog with the Ralph Williams show both on Saturday and on Sunday in the ratings at the time slots. But I wanted to try to beat them again during the weekdays, but nobody would give me the opportunity. So therefore, I had to go to Philly. So now I'm in the Philly market, and I love it. And as soon as I get on the Sports Nuts, I'm going to be in several other markets. My radio agent's working on getting my Ralph's Opinion show on some stations across the country as well. And there we are. So AM 860 tomorrow in Philadelphia, also AM860.com. Don't forget to tune into that. Thank you, Mickey Delaney, and thank you, Cy Baruski, for your comments today as well. And also, real quick here, before we go to Mike SISZAK from Amped Up Sports, we're going to be getting him on in a few moments. As soon as we get him on here, Mike will be joining us to talk about the last place Commanders and the Ravens, and also the Pittsburgh. We'll get his comments about the Steeler game. Then we're going to wrap it up and then head into our Wrestle Talk show at 5 o'clock. We're going to talk about Survivor Series. And I got some news for you about Survivor Series. Oh, my gosh, Smokin' Jim. We got so much to talk about for an event that really wasn't all that great. But I will tell you, there's a lot to talk about because of some of the storylines that went on in the Survivor Series. Okay. And also last night on Raw, Jey Uso, is he going to turn heel? It's looking that way. I got an interview that Jackie Redmond tried to do with Jey Uso, and he wouldn't talk to Jackie Redmond last night. So we're going to go into that as well. So, I mean, he had very few words on Raw, Smokin' Jim. It was just, I never seen Jey like this, but I think he's going to turn heel. There's rumors that that's going to happen. So, all right, when we come back, we're going to have Mike SISZAK on. Give me a couple minutes here. I'm going to get him on. He's going to be on by phone. And as soon as I get Mike on the air here, we're going to be back right after this. All right, on the phone with us right now is Mike SISZAK from Amped Up Sports. Mike, welcome to the program.
How you doing, Ralph? Always good to talk to you.
All right, likewise as well, Mike. And Mike, we have the Washington Commanders. Hold on for a minute here. Somebody wants to say hello to you. Hold on a minute. Say hello to Mike, Smokin' Jim.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Rush hour traffic in Washington, D.C.
Hey, you're not too far from me. I'm in Ocean City, so there you go. All right. Anyway, Mike, let's talk a little bit first. We'll get into Washington Commanders. What has happened to their season this year, Mike?
You are going to regret when your starting quarterback, who was a Pro Bowler and Rookie of the Year last year, plays 4 to 12 games. So they had that. Terry McLaurin has missed a lot of time. Lawrence Armstrong went out for the season early, and that thinned out an already suspect pass rush. Troy Amos, the quarterback who they drafted this year, he's been out. They've lost more man games to injury than I think any other team in the NFL. So it's hard to generate any sort of consistency, any sort of forward momentum when you're constantly next man up it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a tough situation. Smokin' Jim, why don't you tell Mike what you predicted at the beginning of the year about the Washington Commanders?
Hey, Mike, I didn't anticipate all the injuries, but I felt that the Washington Commanders would take a step back this year because they won 6 or 7 games on the last play of the game last year, and I didn't think that could continue in the National Football League.
I don't disagree with you, Jim. I think that it was reasonable to expect them to take a step back. You know, how many teams go from 3 or 4 wins to 12 wins to a championship game? It just doesn't happen. They won 7 of their last 8 games were won on the final play of the game. It was just these things that happened. Everything went right for them last year. It was reasonable to expect them to regress to maybe a 9-7 type of season, 10-7, 9-8 type of season. I just don't think that anybody saw them in a position where through 12 games they're 3-9 on a franchise record tying or second longest losing streak in franchise history, and in a position where they got a game this weekend, you would hope that they would be able to beat the Vikings, but who knows? So it's been rough on them. I just don't think that anybody expected them to be like this. The other thing I would say, Ralph, to answer your question, and Smokin' Jim was right when he said this.
Yes.
It was not only the injuries. I think that some guys that they expected, especially in the form of their second-round draft picks from last year, the likes of Johnny Newton and Ben Sinnott in particular, have really not progressed the way that you would hope a second-round draft pick would. Newton's played 33% of the snaps. Hit it 24. That's just not the type of involvement that you need from a second-round pick. They tried Mike Somerville out at spot corner. They found out that he was better outside corner. I could have told you that after last year, but his problem is he's short. So they were hoping that he would be able to play outside corner. Guess what? He's not. So there's just a lot of personnel issues. But everything that went right for them personnel-wise, injury-wise last year has just gone wrong this year.
All right. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. They've been hot despite the fact they lost against the Bungles last week. Mike, tell us what the Steeler fans here can expect from the Ravens this week coming up.
Let's start with a fairly healthy dose of King Henry. Lamar is still a little banged up. We're seeing him, he's just not as explosive as they want him to be. Dave Flowers, Tez Walker, some of the receivers are Bateman, have little niggles and stuff. I know that Derrick Henry has not necessarily been as productive as they thought he was going to be, as he was last year, but he's still, especially this point in the year, a pretty big threat. I think that they'll run him. Likewise, there's a bunch of little injuries surrounding the Ravens right now. Carl Hamilton, their all-world defensive back, went out on the 23rd with a high ankle sprain. Of course, he played against the Bungles, as you call them, but what type of state is he in coming off of that injury? So there's going to be opportunities on offense if Aaron Rodgers is willing to, I guess, put the ball in a harm's way and press the issue, which is something I've not seen him be willing to do at all this season.
All right. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Mike about the Ravens?
Yeah, Mike. It's Derrick Henry time now. It's time to feed him. He got almost 1,000 yards on the season, and it's time to really crank it up. But it just looks like Lamar Jackson's not healthy. I don't know if it's the hamstring, the knee, the hip. I mean, he's just not throwing the football with any sense of accuracy. I think Zay Flowers might have taken a step back. Some of the receivers might have taken a step back, or maybe it's just a poorly thrown football. What do you think about Lamar Jackson? Is he healthy, or does he have injuries he can play through, or would you sit him for a couple of more weeks?
That he's banged up. I think that he's injured. I think that the hamstring and knee injuries and things that he has dealt with throughout the season are taking a toll on him. They're not allowing his body to be in the alignment that he needs it to be, to throw and to be as explosive as he would like to be. That said, nobody's 100% healthy at this point in the year. There's injuries that he can deal with, and I don't know that they have a better option right now. What are you going to go with? Stu Huntley? So they got to go with Lamar and hope that he can carry them as far as they want to go. I know that they had expectations of getting to the Super Bowl. The injuries, especially on defense. I know that we talk a lot about the injuries of Lamar and what that means, and Lamar's injury and how him missing time. But you got to remember how banged up their secondary is. Marlon Humphreys is out. Nandi hasn't played at all this season, will not, and we don't even know if Nandi Matabuke is ever going to play again. He was a guy that they were really, 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 really keen on. They at the point walk up to you guys because they wanted to resign him. So that tells you what a loss that guy is. Their big run clogger up front, let everybody else behind him do what they're going to do. So the season hasn't been what they want it to be. I don't think that it has the ability to fully get back on the rails at this point. But if they're going to go anywhere, it's going to be because Lamar is able to get it together enough to help them get there. So they don't have another option. They're going to have to roll with a banged-up Lamar and just hope that he can complete the passes, complete the plays, make a few plays a game. It's the old Randall Cunningham sort of thing. Hey, Lamar, what we need you to do is go out there and be Lamar for 5, 6, and hope that that's enough to keep us in the game and get us the wins we need.
All right. Well, joining us right now is Mike SISZAK by way of phone. And Mike is from Amped Up Sports, and he covers the Washington Commanders. We just spoke about them now, and he also covers the Ravens and the Steelers. And the Ravens and the Steelers play this week, this Sunday at Baltimore. It's going to be an interesting setup there, Mike. At Baltimore, it's a division game. We're coming up on the tail end of the Steelers season where they got to play the Ravens twice. This is really something else for the Steelers and the Ravens here.
For the Steelers, this is their only shot to win the division. And I think if they don't win the division, I don't think I'm breaking any news to you. I don't think if they don't win the division, I think if they are not able to win the division, I don't see how the Steelers make the playoffs. I don't think that I'm going out. That's not a hot take. Just the way that they've been playing, the number of losses that they have, they open the door for the Ravens to walk back through. The Ravens are doing it. This game becomes all the more important for the Steelers if they hope to keep a hold of that division, hope to hold off the Ravens. And, hey, the Bengals aren't entirely out of it because that door's been open enough. And you saw what they can do when they have Joe Burrow back, especially in this division where, look, it was going to be the old black and blue division. Right now, the AFC East, the AFC North is kind of playing defense like the old Big 12 used to. It's like defense is optional.
Yeah. And you know what's funny though? They're playing like the NFC North right now, or I'm sorry, the NFC South with Tampa Bay and all them down there, 9-8 records.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Really, like if anybody gets to 10 wins, first team to 10 wins wins. 10 wins gets it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have some breaking news here from Pensman Sports, who's a friend of the show, and I also Pensman works with me on our post-game show. We do other projects together on the Sports Nuts Network, and he's also covers the Penguins and does a lot of shorts on his network. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Pensman Sports. But Pensman here says, breaking news, the Steelers today got Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings. There you go, Smokin' Jim and Mike. What's your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Mike.
On the drive before you gave me a call, that, and I don't know if you talked about the fact that they mutually parted ways with Darius Slay.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It gives them at least another potential target. He's way past his prime when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, but considering where they are with where the Steelers are with the receiver position, any little bit helps. I think that he can be they're going to want him to be a possession guy, go out there, keep the case moving, maybe take some of the pressure off of DK so that DK can get downfield. DK's having exactly the type of season that I forecasted DK to have, which is he will give you just enough to think that he can blow the top off of it, but then otherwise it's pretty unremarkable. And when you turn around and look at his stats, you're like, hoping that you'd be able to do more. Last check I had, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was 45 catches for about 600 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, again, Here's a guy who is more of a 2-1A type of guy. He needs somebody else with him. They don't have that guy. He's not a particularly great route runner, so that also is an issue. I've never been as impressed with his ability to get his catch radius and his ability to catch contested balls as I would expect for somebody of his size. Like, for me, you should just be able to throw the ball up there and he'll go and get it for you. I don't understand why he's not able to use his stature as effectively, especially on contested balls, as you would think he would be able to. So, but then again, you know what you got when you paid for him. Like the stats, everything in the tape was there for you to see. Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin knew what they were getting. I can't imagine that they're particularly surprised in the product that they got. So Adam Thielen hopefully can unlock him, give Aaron Rodgers another target. If he's able to play this week, maybe like I said, I'll put some pressure on Ravens secondary that can be a little bit creaky at times.
Oh, yeah. All right, Smokin' Jim, you have any more questions for Mike?
Yeah, just piggyback on Thielen is one time a great player. I think they got a whole team full of Thielens right now. Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. They're all about that same size. So it's going to take him too little, too late. It's going to take him a few weeks to get up to snuff on the plays and I just think that they was appeasing the fans. But the question I got for Mike, the fans have been dissatisfied with Patrick Queen. Why hasn't Patrick Queen been the player in Pittsburgh that he was in Baltimore, Mike?
It took him a couple of years to figure it out in Baltimore. It wasn't like that he came in and was an instant success. In fact, there was a point in time after I think his first couple of seasons where the thought was he might be a cat. Once he learned his role, once he learned the offense, he was able to get in there. I think that they need to look at what he was excelled at in Baltimore, what his particular skill set was, and how he can incorporate that into the position that he's being asked to play. It seems like he's not being he's being asked to play a slightly different role. The other thing I would say was he had his best seasons when he was playing, that those two middle linebackers opposite Roquan Smith. Guess who he did not bring with him to Pittsburgh?
Who?
Roquan Smith.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Who looks great when he's playing next to Bobby Wagner.
Wagner, yeah.
If you're going to expect a lot from Patrick Queen, you may not need to get Roquan Smith, but get somebody who does some of the things that he does that can help unlock the best qualities of Patrick Queen.
All right. Smokin' Jimmy, have any more questions for Mike?
No, great job as usual, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.
I'll get back and talk with you. Give me a shout anytime you need me, and it's always fun.
All right. Mike SISZAK from Amped Up Sports. Mike, thank you for being part of the program. Much appreciated. And have yourself a good holiday season. Thank you. All right. Mike SISZAK, by way of phone here. I couldn't get him on the other way, so we had to put him on the phone today. Right here on Sports Corner Show. We're here every Tuesday, 4:00 p.m. start time. And I tell you what, man, going into the rest of the season, excuse me here for a minute, going into the rest of the season, we're going to be having more and more guests towards the end of the year as a holiday gift to you. And starting in 2026, we're going to be taking off something big time. We're already wrapping up 2025 on a positive note. All right, let's go to Facebook here real quick. And I want to thank Pensman Sports for the information. Steelers signed Adam Thielen today. He's a possession receiver, Smokin' Jim. I don't see anything much in this guy. Another possession receiver. We need somebody that, can run and do things and, run routes and get wide open other than DK Metcalf. And we just don't have it right now. And that's the way it is. So, and we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and on the Kick Network and the Huddle Sports Network as well. And coming up next week, we will be on the Sports Nuts Network as well. All of our sports programming will be on here. We're going to be on selective radio stations all across the United States. It's going to be beautiful to start working with Brandon Keeler. Also, don't forget about Brian Pettit and the Tiger Stripes Network as well. Brian, he does some great programming. He also does some play-by-play and some watch live streaming, as well as Pensman Sports. We all work together with Brandon on the Sports Nuts Network. Also, I wanted to say that today, Mike SISZAK is brought to you in part by American or North American Millwright. Call them today, 410-388-9870. Look, North American Millwright is a contracting and construction company. They've done work on my house, and they will do good work on your house. So please give them a call today. All kinds of construction and contracting, kitchens, anything you need done, call them today. That number is 410-388-9870. That's area code 410-388-9870, North American Millwright. Now, I want to tell you a little something, too. They not only service Maryland, but they service Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, and Delaware. So that whole area that circulates around the eastern coast and parts of the Northeast there, you might want to give them a call. They'll be able to help you. North American Millwright, Tom Ralph Williams sent you. All right. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on what Mike had to say on all three teams, and also your thoughts on this week's Steeler game, and give me a score.
Woo! I'll tell you what, Mike nailed it. As usual, I'm always like when guys see it the way you and I see it, that the Washington Commanders was going to take a step
a nosedive.
Yeah, forget about those Super Bowl tickets. But hey, the Baltimore Ravens is going to be tough. The Steelers are going to be tough. It's a rivalry game.
It's a rivalry.
The records, even though the records are the same.
Throw them out the window.
I think that Lamar Jackson is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. Exciting.
Yes.
But I think they would have more Super Bowls with Flacco. The guys just can't consistently throw the football. That's what you have to do with a quarterback. He's prone to mistakes. Big play, TJ Watt likes quarterbacks who makes mistakes. So now that he can't run as effectively, I think that Derrick Henry will run for 300 yards. The Baltimore Ravens will score 32 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers will win with a field goal at 34. 34-32, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's your score every game, Smokin' Jim. You used to do what was it, 70-10 or something? So anyway, but also my prediction is I think the Steelers just might pull this game off because, like you said, it's a rivalry game. Mike Tomlin and the gang, they always get up for a rivalry game, and it's at even though it's at Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is limited now. So with him being limited, and they have to rely on the running game. If they could shut Derrick Henry down, which they did last year. And they also don't forget, too, about Derrick Henry. He fumbled the football at the beginning of the game and then was benched after that. So, I mean, or seen limited action. So John Harbaugh always manages to screw up some way or somehow, Smokin' Jim, when he plays the Steelers. He makes bad calls. He tries to go for it on fourth down and has to eat it. And, so that's exactly what happens with that there. All right, we have here we go. Let me see what this is here. Stream Hub. All right. Thank you, Stream Hub, for being part of the program. All right. We also have Pensman, and he says 24-14 Steelers, says Pensman Sports there, Smokin' Jim. And Pensman, we had the pleasure of having him on with us on the Steel City Sports World Show, which is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook with Luther Dupree as the host, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Fillmore, Big Row, and myself as well. I will be also on the show. And don't forget tomorrow, my debut in Philadelphia for my new show, the Ralph Williams Show. It's actually not new. It's just back up and moving as the Ralph Williams Show. I make my debut in Philadelphia on Philadelphia Media, the 9th best media market in the entire United States. And it's a pleasure to be on Philly radio. And I hate to say this, and I'm sorry to say this, but since you Pittsburgh radio stations wouldn't give me an opportunity on weekdays and Philly did, you know what you can go do with this? You can eat it. So, certain stations out there who stuck me and my agent in the lurch, refused to return our phone calls, kept us waiting for 3 months to make a decision. And so therefore we decided to move on. And that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, here we go real quick, a small video. Here we go. All right, there we are with that. That's a small video for you about the new Ralph Williams show tomorrow, Philadelphia Radio, 860 AM, WWDB. And I want to thank staff and management and Beasley Media Group for letting me put my show on the air there in Philadelphia. And I am being really welcomed. I got a lot of emails from some folks in Philly who have listened to my programs, watched my shows. They're welcoming me with open arms, and I really appreciate that as well. And Pensman said, thank you for the invite. Invite was busy. Call me when you're done with the show. I will do so, Pensman, as well. And also, I was on the phone today with Joe Kuglis. We're going to be back working with Draft Nation coming up in the coming year, working with Draft Nation in a partnership with them as well as the Sports Nuts show as well. And the Sports Nuts Network as well. Smokin' Jim, final thoughts before we move on to Wrestle Talk. Go ahead.
I tell you what, Ralph, man, it's been a up and down year, man. I couldn't be prouder of my good friend Terry Smith and Penn State winning 3 games in a row, becoming bowl eligible. I got to disagree with the legend Bill Hillgrove. I think that everybody wants to see Pitt Penn State in a bowl game. Even if it's a pinstripe bowl out in the cold in New York, these guys got to play each other somehow, some way. They won't play each other in regular season. So let's make sure they play each other in the bowl game.
Absolutely. All right. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. And coming up is Wrestle Talk, 5 p.m. Coming up shortly in about 2 minutes. Wrestle Talk. Keep it right here.